Hello, it's Courtney with balancewithcourtney.com. I am passionate about helping others discover their happy and inspire them to make it a daily habit. My intention is to hack happy by interviewing experts, share their story, and inspire others, and we can create a happy movement. Today's happy expert is Dr. Jenna Zellars. Dr. Jenna Zellars is a dynamic female entrepreneur with a passion for helping other entrepreneurs reach new heights on their unique career paths. Her professional career began in 2010 as a family wellness chiropractor. In just 2 years, built the thriving practice of her dreams. Like many achievements, the excitement and satisfaction wore off as the years went by, but deep down, she knew life was meant to be enjoyed even at work. In 2016, she began a life-changing self-discovery journey to find more joy, fulfillment, passion, and purpose in every area of her life. She is now on a mission to teach the principles and practices she learned on her transformational journey with entrepreneurs worldwide, aspiring or established. Dr. Jenna Zellars is an author, inspirational speaker, and proud podcast host of The Dr. Jenna Show and founder of the Authentic and Thriving Academy, where she supports female entrepreneurs to create, live, and love their legacy life. Ah, beautiful. Welcome, Dr. Jenna.
Thank you, Courtney, so much for having me. That was a mouthful, huh?
You've done a lot, and it's wonderful. You know, it's not just one thing that brings us to where we need to be in life. It's a journey, right? And it keeps changing. And so it's great for my tribe to hear how many things you've done till you've gotten to the point where this is what I want to be doing. This is where I feel happy.
Yeah.
And that could change tomorrow, right? Life is always changing.
It changes. Yes, it changes almost every day, it seems like, but that's okay. It's just refining and moving forward.
Yes, so true. So to get started today, will you share the story of how you found your happy?
I would love to. So it's funny because I've had different levels of happiness throughout my life, but I do, it's so cliche, but I do feel like I'm at the very best point in my life and it just keeps getting better. So I knew at a very young age, at 6 years old, that I wanted to be a chiropractor. And just knowing that and being on track with that purpose and constantly making progress, it was like I just had to jump through hoops and I had to check the next checkbox on that list of things to do to become that chiropractor. So it was a 20-year journey. And every day I was really moving forward in that journey. And I was checking things off the box. That alone made me feel happy because I knew that I was one step closer every single day. That light at the end of the tunnel of actually becoming a licensed doctor of chiropractic was getting closer and closer. So that alone made me happy. Throughout all of my years, I was probably one of the happiest people you would have ever have met. In college, in grad school, when life is hard and challenging and, everyone around you is like, oh my gosh, this is such a rough life. And why did I do this to myself? I was probably the happiest person on campus because I was getting closer and closer to accomplishing my lifelong dream. And then I got into practice, really happy at first. But what happened, what I realized is I stopped dreaming. My lifelong dream was to have the office of my dreams. At 27, I got the office of my dreams. I had become a chiropractor. I was practicing for 2 years, opened my dream office after 2 years, and I was doing it. I was in it. I was in the trenches. I was working every day. I had the life that I'd always wanted. And then I stopped dreaming. And we all know what happens when we stop dreaming. I wasn't fulfilled anymore. I wasn't happy every day. I was searching. I was constantly searching for that next thing, like, why doesn't this feel right? What else is out there? And at 31 years old, after searching for 4 years, like, okay, I have it all. Why am I not happy? I actually hit rock bottom and I got quite depressed. I got, I was 3 days away from taking antidepressant medications. And if anyone knows anything about me, I don't take medicine in the last 15 years because I'm in the holistic world. I've been to a medical doctor twice. And so going on antidepressants was like the last thing I ever imagined I would be doing. And I was 3 days away from doing it because I just couldn't cope with life. And then I asked myself, I just had that conversation, that soul discovery conversation of like, this isn't going to lead you where you want to go. You know that. Are you willing to put in the hard work? Are you willing to do what it takes to get past this? And I gave myself a big yes. And I mustered up all the courage and energy and like self-confidence that I had left. And I was like, I'm going to change. I don't know how. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I'm going to take that very scary step forward. And so that's what I did. And I started this amazing journey of self-discovery. And so to answer your question, my new happy is now using my gifts and talents. I had kind of suppressed my gifts, my talents of, being scared of being seen, being scared of being different, being scared of, doing something other than adjusting spines all day. I'd been so scared of everything and what people thought about that I suppressed really my authenticity. And so the way that I have found my happy is finding my authenticity and finding a way to express it. And that is now how I find and live my happy. And I know when I'm having a bad day, it's because I'm stuck in my head and I'm not being who I truly am.
Wow. Wow. That is a true example of it's the journey, not the destination. All these kids right now that are in college, and what does everyone ask them? What do you want to be when you grow up? They don't ask them, how do you want to feel? What kind of person do you want to be? What makes you happy? So you get to the destination, you work so hard. You're like, I have a goal. I'm going full-fledged. And you get there and it's like the tip of a ledge. Now what? I have this. Now what? What do I do next? Because you haven't done all that internal work. It's like the show Biggest Loser, where they jump on and they do everything they're told to lose the weight, and then they gain it back because they don't have a foundation. That is so beautiful. And how you said being authentically you. Whenever you don't feel happy, you check in with yourself and say, what's going on? Have I veered off this way? What I need to get back in my balance. I need to get back in my alignment. And we don't learn.
I have found too. Go ahead.
Please finish. Please finish.
I was just going to add to this point of, when we do all the things to get to where we want to go, it's sometimes important to also check in and why we are doing those things. What I didn't realize and what I've found now is that my driving force to become a chiropractor was very much driven by how people would perceive me, right? Like, oh, I'll be successful, or, oh, I can take care of people. They'll come and pay me to take care of them. It was like very much this vicious cycle of doing all the things because of all of my bad programming. And so back to that journey, and that journey and not the destination, is do something like check into really what's that driving force behind what you're doing and why you're doing it, because that will also help clue you into your happy. If you're doing it for all the wrong reasons, not to say that I regret doing chiropractic, but I do know that it was the very young people pleaser in me that was like, okay, I'll be a chiropractor so I can take care of people, right? And I lost track of, and this is the reason why you have your group, I lost track of taking care of myself. Yes. That was another reason I got burnout at 31.
Yes. So keep checking in with the why. It's so, we never ask ourselves why. Why? That is beautiful. Thank you so, so much. So through that story, and now that you said that you are like, I don't remember your words exactly, but the peak of your happy right now, if someone was to ask you, are you happy? You would be able to say, hell yes. And that's where I try to get to my clients, right? Right. Because if I ask them, are you happy? And you can't answer, that is the answer, right? We want to be able to say, hell yes. So can you define for me what happiness means to you?
So I tell people all the time that I am a chiropractor by trade, at heart, I'm really an entrepreneur. And my happy is around this entrepreneurship. And that doesn't mean that everybody should be. So I believe that we all have a purpose inside of us. And I also am very creative. And I also believe that this purpose is also a way to fund our lifestyle, fund our livelihood, fund our vacations. Like, I also believe that at the root of our purpose is also a way to make money, to have a business. I believe that we can have an amazing business around our soul's purpose. Because I used to think that it was bad for making money. I used to think that, how dare you for making money? Now, the more work I do, the more I see that the more you can make money, the more you can give back to your why, to your cause, charities, the more you can do with the money you make. So this is why I've created the Authentic and Thriving Academy, is because I believe an authentic and thriving life, I believe an authentic and thriving business creates an authentic and thriving life. And so it's my goal not to help someone else run the same business someone else has, but to tap into that authenticity, that authentic entrepreneur that's inside of each and every one of us, to go after our purpose, go after our cause, go after our mission. And when we're on a mission, you just can't help but being fired up. You just can't help but get through those hard challenges, because you have that why that drives you of I'm doing this for a way bigger cause than just myself. And so that is my happy place, when I'm just there's growth, there's accomplishments, there's people who are getting changes by what I'm doing. It's just that is just this, I get goosebumps just talking about it. That's my happy. And, it funds my lifestyle. It creates more balance with me and my husband. It allows me to travel the world. It allows me to do all these amazing things. My work doesn't seem like work. It is just this part of me, and all areas of my life are benefited by this holy mission that I'm a part of. So that's my happy, when things are just moving forward in this authentic and thriving business that I've created, which is an authentic and thriving life at the same time.
And how amazing and how validating and powerful to be yourself, your most authentic self, do what you love and make an income doing it. I mean, there's no more perfect scenario than that, right? It's never feels like work. Just like you said, we're both so excited. I love this.
I know.
We get on an interview together and it will make my day the rest of the day. It just lights me up. That's where my happy is, right? It's all an energy exchange. You're in alignment, I'm in alignment. So we're feeding each other. We're giving each other what we need. And there's no money exchange. It's all energy. Money's energy, feelings are energy. Everything is a beautiful exchange.
You are so right. You're so right. I'm excited for how your audience, your tribe is going to get pumped up with this. I can feel it already. I know this is just a recording, but I feel, that maybe too, the light bulbs in their head will go off and think to themselves, yeah, I should make a business around what I'm super passionate about. I truly believe that with enough creative juices that it's possible for everyone to love their life and do what they love and make money while they do it. I have not met one person that didn't fit into that with the right creative juices.
Oh, I completely agree. That's why we're put on this earth. If we were all doing what we were passionate about, you know what I mean? And wouldn't you want to learn from someone that has this high a vibe as we have in this interview?
Mm-hmm.
We've all been with that person where they're like, yeah, I'm a lawyer, and there's nothing. It's just duh. That's, that's not doing your passion. They're probably just trying to pay the bills. I have the money block. It started when I was young to make money has to feel like work. Right. And that's true. And that's not true. And so many people think, okay, I have to do something that I don't enjoy doing just so I can pay the bills.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
so good. So good. So in your journey and even today, what things do you do to maintain your happy so you are feeling this high vibrational energy every day? What are little things that it's conscious or unconscious, it's just happening?
Mm-hmm. I would say the first thing is I'm very in control of my schedule. I learned that a couple years ago that like I had to be consciously in control of my schedule, because if you're not consciously in control of your schedule, subconsciously and by the universe will fill your schedule up with unimportant things that are not high on your priority list, things that bring your vibration down. So I first schedule my everything that I need to do, everything that I want to do. It is scheduled, and most things are scheduled ahead of time. You know, if I get my nails done. I just started getting my nails done. I don't normally do, but I know that I'm going to need to set aside that hour to get my nails done. And I have to find it in a time that's not going to interrupt my work or interrupt my creative time. I schedule everything. I schedule these talks. I schedule my coaching schedule. I'm also very mindful of scheduling my workload of like, okay, when am I going to best be able to be creative? Is it in the morning? Is it at night when everyone's home and doing the dishes and all of that? Like, I have to make sure I schedule that creative time where I'm going to be maximize my creative juices. I schedule a weekly date with my husband, you know, like in order to have a happy marriage, we need to be proactive. Every single Friday, I close 1:00. That's when he gets home from his day, and no laptop, no cell phone, no nothing. It's all turned off so that I can be completely present and have fun with him, because then that keeps this wonderful cycle of good energy in our home as well, when we both know our cups are full.
Yes. And it's, it's making yourself a priority, but it's also your relationships a priority. You know, when we take the time to schedule in someone. I remember when I first started being an entrepreneur and I had to put everything on my calendar, right? Because we are creating it and we are on our own time. It's not like we're going to a desk job and things are so structured. You eat at a certain time, you do this at a certain time. So you really have to be able to create that. And I was like, I just want to go with the flow. I don't want to have to schedule everything. But then you never get anything done. And there's something about saying it out loud and writing it down. You're putting out to the world, I want this to happen and this is important to me. It's all about getting to know you. Every step you're taking is to getting to know the most authentic you. And that is the first step, because if we don't know who we are, how can we do what we love? How can we attract people we want to attract when we don't even know what we're putting off?
Yep.
So
I agree. I love it.
Yeah. So say you wake up on the wrong side of the bed. We all have those days where we can't get that smile on. It's just something is telling us that things just aren't going our way, right? What do you do for yourself to get back in alignment?
That's a really good question. I used to go, gosh, what's wrong with me? You know, why, I try to force it. I try to fake it. I tried to, and then it would just be messy. And I'm like, oh, why don't I feel good? Now I'm learning to take that as a learning lesson, to say, okay, what is this all about? Like, something is coming up here and usually what I'll do is it tunes me in to something in my life that needs refining. I'm constantly refining and pruning, like things that don't serve me, maybe different mindsets, maybe obligations that I've gone into, maybe the things that I'm trying so hard to do. I need to maybe stop and pause and reflect and go, is this really what I need to be doing? So when I wake up on the wrong side of the bed, I actually just embrace it. I'm like, okay, all right, God, universe, spirit, just show me. I'm here to learn, grow. it's this contrast of good versus bad days. Like that's part of the human experience. We can't have all good days, because then we'll start feeling like every day is just mediocre, right?
Right.
So when we have bad days, it actually adds to that contrast of making our good days even better, because we feel the difference. We're supposed to feel all of it. So rather than trying to push it or fake it that I'm okay, I'm just like, okay, what's going on? I just try to get curious and play detective in my life and my business, because it's all really connected. You can't compartmentalize any area of your life. And so I just go, what am I supposed to learn here? And sometimes I've been in a funky mood for more than a day. Sometimes it lasts for like 2-3 weeks. I'm just like, ooh, I feel bad. But I journal and I ask questions. I talk to my husband. I talk to an accountability partner, and I just kind of talk it out and just see, what's coming up. And it's always a moment. It's always a lesson to grow from, to learn something, whether it's mindset or something that I'm a habit that I'm doing or something, but it's there to serve me. And I know that. And
Right.
I know and it's also there for everyone. It's, you could either look at it, you have a choice of looking at it like, why is this happening to me? Or why is this happening for me? It's for your greater good if you choose to accept it and kind of lean into it and say, what is the lesson here?
Right, right. Since you know yourself so well, can you give my tribe, like, if you're not doing this, it's going to create this. So in my world, if I am not doing my self-care time, if I'm not taking my me time in the morning before I give to others, I know I'm going to get drained, and I'm going to go in a mood that it's not a happy place for me. So can you give like an example? Because I think it's so important for others to see that we're not happy experts every day. We hold the happiness in our heart. We know how to access it, but we're human beings and things get us down. People trigger us, whatever can happen. So I like to hear those true life stories. So maybe example of something.
Yeah, there's so much here. So self-care is really good. Self-care, I mean, that's true. But I think and I think every tip that I would have to say would fall under the self-care umbrella. So I'm going to dive deep and be specific. I feel in my own life, if I'm not, choose my words wisely here. If I'm not being true to myself, I'm going to suffer later. If I'm not making like every day we're faced with so many choices, right? What to eat, what to think, who to hang out with, what habits to get involved with. Like we are faced with so many choices, and all of those choices are going to lead us down a particular path. There's an amazing book on this. It's called The Path Principle, or The Principle of the Path. I forget. But I believe a Christian pastor wrote this book. It's been a while, but the concept of the book is every choice you make, it's not just a little choice in and of itself. It is all of our choices accumulate and lead us down a path. And by simply shifting and choosing slightly different, it completely changes our trajectory. So if you are choosing to ignore your heart or your authenticity or your soul, you are choosing, that's going to lead you down a path. And the longer you go down that path, the more frustration you're going to have, the more pain, the more suffering, the more challenges, and I really think that if I had to do it differently, I don't know that I would have chosen chiropractic. Today I'm so grateful for that path, but that brought me to this path of so many challenges, so many frustrations. So my purpose of doing this is, if you're ignoring you deep down of like that inner tug, and to take that step and to actually give yourself permission to give you what you ultimately want, like that is scary. That's uncomfortable. There are some challenges with that, but those challenges are minuscule compared to a lifetime of ignoring it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You have a choice, right? You can ignore the calling or step into the calling. Either one's going to be uncomfortable, but this one's going to be uncomfortable way longer. This one's going to be uncomfortable for a short amount of time, but bring you so many more gifts.
Yes, yes, yes. So all that is making me think of self-discovery. And I find it is so important to get to know the person you are before you make any life choices, before you pick a partner, before you pick a life profession, before you have children, sometimes before you even have a pet. But what happens is kids nowadays are brought up in a household where they are just learning by watching their parents, right? So they're taking on all their parents' patterns, and then they're jumping into a 4-year college and getting a degree right off of that before they even found themselves. And they have no idea what brings them happy. They know what brought their parents happy, at least they think it did, right? They know what their friends and their friends are doing. So that it just inspires me even more to say, before you make any major choices in your life, before you go down any path, do some work on yourself. Find out who you are and what you want and what you love and what lights you up, because then you will know which path to go. I think we're doing it all backwards. So we get to where we're at and we have a midlife crisis at 20 or 30, right?
Well, and also that is a great tip to say, like, do it before. But also, you know, there are plenty of people that might be thinking, well, I've already gotten married, I've already had my kids, I've already gone to college. It's actually never too late.
No.
And with using enough, like I always love to also say, like, why is this happening for me? To also combine that creativeness plus the how is this serving me, and knowing that it's not too late to then just make the most of the time you have left, or what you do next. Like it's, you know, it's never too late to just make that little shift. Just change your choices, right? Just change the quality of choices that you make. And that's enough to just completely change the trajectory of your life, no matter what age.
I completely think you're right. And for our listeners, I believe their best first step is to getting to know themselves. And you can do it at any age, at any time, but that is the first step before you do anything else. Before you try to get to know anyone else, get to know yourself. Yes, yes. This has been so awesome. So before we end today, do you have anything else you would like to share with my listeners that are struggling right now?
Oh, I want to share a tip, and this is an actual practical application. I learned this and it completely changed the way that I made my decisions. Your body knows your truth. If you take a nice deep breath in, and you just allow that breath to come in, you want to feel your lungs expanding. You can feel it all the way up to the tip of your shoulders. You can feel the air coming up to your head. Like that is an optimal breath. Now, if you are stuck at a crossroads and you have to ask your body, you have to figure out, okay, do I take this or this? Your soul knows which path is better for you. Sometimes it's our head, right, that tries to figure out, well, I think this is the way I should go, but our soul knows that this is more in alignment. And there's actually a breathing test that you can do to figure out which one's more in alignment with your soul, not your head, but your soul. So I'm going to teach you that really quick.
Oh, please do.
So you can test this by your name. What you want to do is test your breathing. You want to say your name. You want to speak your name. You want to visualize who you are with that name. And you take a deep breath in, and you should feel that breath matched your neutral breath, your breath that you just, without thinking, you have that litmus breath. Then you say someone else's name, and you imagine that you are not that person, but you're trying to tell your body that you are someone else, you're Bob or Susie or whatever. And when you breathe, you'll actually feel restriction. You won't feel like it fills up your lungs as much. You won't feel it going up to your head. I imagine, at the fairgrounds where people hit the hammer and the bell goes up, 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 and then it hits the bell and they get a prize. It's kind of like that. You imagine your breath filling up that survey thing. What's that thing called? I don't know what it's called.
I don't know, but
you hit the hammer
to see how
it goes
strong
up.
you are. Yeah.
The stronger you are, the higher it goes. So your breath needs to do the same. You imagine when you say your truth, that bell will it'll ring the bell. It'll go all the way up. If you don't speak your truth, you're not going to have the strength in your breath. You're going to feel tightness in your chest. So when you can practice this on like, you definitely know the truth. You know your name. You know if you're not the name. You can practice this on like turning right or left when you go home. You know logically that you need to turn left to go home, but you want to test your breath and you say, I'm going to turn right. You're going to feel that restriction. Your body knows that's not the way to go. You can do this when making decisions too. Do I have a baby? Do I not have a baby? Do I get that job? Do I not have that job? Do I start my business? Do I not start my business, right? Your head will come up with a million reasons to talk you out of it, but your soul knows what's in alignment, and you can do that breathing test. The more you practice, the better you get. If you can't figure out how to do it right away, if you're not feeling it, just keep practicing with things that you know that are not true. Then you can get good at that. Make sure you feel it, and then start practicing with things that you're not really sure about. And if you don't feel it yet, it means it's just that yellow light. You don't have a green light or a red light. It just means it's not time to make that decision yet.
I love it. I love that. I love that for so many reasons. Oh my gosh. I love, love, love it. And it seems like it would apply when you're speaking to someone. I mean, you have those times where you're speaking to someone, sometimes you don't even know who they are, and you have that constriction, you have that tightness, and just something feels off. That is that sign. That is your truth right there. You don't have to analyze it. You don't have to figure out why. You just know it's not your choice. It's not your truth.
Yeah. Gosh, you don't need to know how. You don't need to know how or why.
You do not.
The answers will reveal themselves.
Yes, yes. Something came up for me while you were talking with that exercise, and I want to share it. I was in an extremely unhappy, abusive relationship for 4 years. And I kept the name for until my daughter turned 18, because at the time I thought that was putting her first, and it was more important than putting my feelings first. And I wanted to have the same name as her. And the day that I changed my name, I just got chills just saying it, to my maiden name, I had that confirmation. I had that lightness. I had that, my heart opened so wide, and I felt like, oh my God, I am finally me. This is who I'm supposed to be. I was being someone else for so long, and I was not living my truth. I had no idea how that would impact me. And I still get that high just talking about it.
Mm-hmm. Good for you. I'm happy for you.
Yeah. So that's a beautiful thing to ask yourself. Am I doing this for me, or am I doing this for someone else? Because when we do stuff that serve us, it does serve everyone else, because you're being in your truth and being yourself. But when we do things for other people, it doesn't feel true to them. They get that constricting, they get that weird feeling, and you wonder why people don't trust you, right? It's all surrounding the same thing. It all starts with us. Yet it's so hard for women to put themselves first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, that was so, so good. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Please let everyone know how they can reach out to you. And while you're doing that, I'm going to fix my hair because it's all falling down here.
Well, I have a lot of stuff going on. I'm a mover and a shaker. So obviously I would love to chat with those of you entrepreneurs that, want to turn that passion project of yours into something profitable and exciting. So I'll just give you my link for booking a clarity call with me. But I also understand that most of you or many of you won't be ready for that. So I have something else that kind of piggybacks on everything that Courtney talks about. If you're wondering about how do you start a self-discovery journey? How do you start that? There is no right or wrong way. And Courtney, you've probably shared, and you've probably had multiple of your guests share different tips and tools on how to really begin or leverage that self-discovery journey. I actually turned mine into a teaching lesson. So everything that I went through, I tried to condense it into lessons that I could actually teach other people to do the same thing. So I have a 21-day self-discovery e-course. It's free. I honestly haven't opened it up in a while, so I'll give you the link to that you can share with your group. I don't remember what it is, but I'll give that to you, and your people can schedule or just do it themselves. You could do a lesson a day, or you could do all the lessons in one day if you're bored on a weekend. And just dive in and get to know yourself on a deeper level through some of the lessons that I extracted from my own journey.
Oh, that is so amazing. I've done so many of those. I mean, just on my own journey, but I want to do that because you can never know yourself.
Okay.
Right? You can never discover more things about yourself. And guys, every single time, time a relationship ends, anything, small little changes in your life, it gives you an opportunity to check in with yourself and say, am I fulfilling my hopes, my dreams, and my desires? Do I know who I am? Is this still who I'm putting out to the world? Is that still who I want to be? And we have that chance every single day to check in with ourselves. And our world gives us confirmation every day with what we're attracting. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. So I'll get the link from you, and I'll make sure that is in all the show notes so they can grab that when this video airs.
Great.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, sweetie. Please stay on while I close so we can chat after.
Okay.
Thank you for taking time for us and for your growth. I hope you discovered new happy habits to support your happiness. Please reach out with questions, or if you need more support, at Happy Balance Facebook group or balancewithcourtney.com. If you need one-on-one help, please book a happy discovery call. Thank you so much, Dr. Jenna.
My pleasure. Thank you.